today, we already talked about how high to set your hammock. Now we're going to talk about angle. Okay? Notice this ground is higher than that ground. And so what you're going to do is, depending on how I want to sleep, is where I want this to be. If I set my hammock up dead center between the two ends are even. But let's say I want to be a little bit more sitting up because I'm going to be hanging in my hammock talking to everybody else. I'll put my hammock more, the head closer to this side, and that'll steepen that angle up just a little. So I can still lay in it, but it's more like I'm in a reclining than laying position. So let's set it up, and I'll show you the difference right quick. I'll put this in closer. So for right now, I'm just going to go all the way through it and use that end for the quick detaching. So I want this one fairly close to this side. Okay? Now walk to that one. Okay. Now, see if it's high enough for you or too high. Now you see how this angle's going uphill? That tells me my head's going to be a little bit higher. Not by much, but a little. So sit up there and get your measurement. How high is it supposed to be? Remember last time we did the video, we figured out. A little bit lower.
Boy, I'll put some pressure on it.
Yeah, try sitting down in it.
That's okay.
Okay. Now, swivel around and put your head this way. And reach up over your head and grab some material. Like that. Slide up. Now, you see, this way you got a little bit more of a incline at your head. And if I'm wanting to kind of sit up more and I'm looking at the sunset or whatever, by doing it this way, the head has actually got a little steeper angle right there. My legs are still relatively flat. Okay? The higher I scoot up here, the higher I'm going to get. See?
Since it's already pretty much at my limit, how tall I want it to be, I need to put down the feet. So it wouldn't. So let this up so high.
It could. Let's see. Step out and let's see. Hook your toe in the little thingy.
The little thingy.
The little, you know, the bell bottom.
Oh, I ain't got that.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing sharp.
Okay. I'm going to lower it just a little bit because you like it a little lower than mine. Like that. And now I'm going to increase this angle a little bit. And I will drop this one just a minute. I thought it was right. By getting this end of the hammock closer to the tree, this angle is going to get higher and higher. So I'm saying, if that tree is a little bit closer, we could bring it all the way over here to it. But as it is right now, you can see how your line is going uphill. So that means my head's going to be uphill. Now if I slack this up and give you a little bit more drop. One good thing about these straps, they do lock. Okay, we'll try that. Still going uphill.
That's a little too low.
Little too low. Okay.
I actually like to put it the other way.
Okay.
I was actually able to get it out of. Now I feel like if I lean back, to probably won't put my head.
Okay. Roughly a good height where you can take a nap at. Okay. Now, let's go to the tarp. Putting the tarp on. Oh yeah. the one-win tarp.
I ain't got enough on the back side. I'm going to flip it myself.
Yeah. Alright. You have the tarp itself, which just stuffs in. And then you got catchers and you got stakes. Okay? Take your bag and hook it somewhere where it's not going to be lost. You can separate when you're not in it 2 cords and hang that block in there, and it'll keep it bound, captured. I could probably do it by sheer strength, but I'm going to do it right now. I can do it.
Sure you could.
Okay. Now, tarp has the center tie out. Alright, tarp has a center tie out. I'm running down the middle of it. See this seam right here? Now notice on one side it's got clear tape on it. That's to the inside. Okay? You put that to the outside and it catches water, you're going to get wet. That's what happened to Dan Lutz. And they went and did the event up at Frozen Foot. He got up there and put it on and put it facing the wrong way. Alright, just got a cord. We're going to bring the cord up here. And we're going to anchor it to the tree. We'll walk to the other end. The ridge you want to pull fairly tight. Pull out this front corner right here. We'll run through the actual loop, not through the elastic. Pull it down at an angle until it engages the ground. And I'm not going to stake it where it's got the doors. I'm just staking it like a standard A-frame tent. Okay. Now this, in this configuration, is just going to be keeping it off of you. This is called an A. It's like an A. You don't have the doors closed to catch and keep the air out or whatever. But you just got to duck under. And this is set low for a storm. So you get in it, it's just enough. It's a tent. You're going to get in, you got to handle it. If we put the tarp up high and run out the guide rods, we got plenty of room to go in and out. But that's for good weather. Not going to be a bad storm. So take a good look at it the way I got it set up. And notice, pulled out the 4 corners. This should be in the center. Now why is this off to the side of that? Just because I'm going around the tree. So this should be up here, but it's okay to be off one side or the other. I like to have them both off the same side. If it's going to be where it's not going to touch this, it's going to be set up high, and set it up high in this section. Do that. This is where I'm wanting to camp, and it may rain. It's not going to be bad blowing rain, but it's going to rain. I got room to put gear under here to move her around. look in here, you got another set of grommets. If I grommet that makes these two the doors that close. And so that's where it's going to be bad blowing rain or it's really cold and I'm trying to hold heat. That's when I go to those middle two. I need to make doors out of them. I don't need doors this time of year. I just need rain off of them. Now, if you go around and pull the stake up all the way around, we'll set this high and do for more room. Correct. And we should be. Yes.
Push it back.
Yes. Okay, now come around here and take a look. Now you got much more room in there, and you can walk into it. Just punch over. Now go get in the hammock. See, you've got like this. This is an open set. I want breeze. I want air to come in from every direction. I just don't want a little light rain or dew getting on there. Okay. These could be staked out as well if you needed to. Okay. This is, it may rain, but it ain't gonna be blowing rain. No real storm. It's gonna be a storm, then I gotta hook this up and close the door. Okay. But this is the way you set up this. That center place up there that's reinforced is where if I had a line or a limb up there, I could run a line to it and throw it over the top and pull it up in the middle. Make it like a top hat, bow up, like a parachute. And I could make it where I could stand up and walk around under it, no problem. The more I go up, the less down here at the bottom I got to cover. So right here I got room, I can put gear under my head, under my feet, where it's under me and it's well underneath the tarp. So it's a little light rain, it's not gonna get wet. This is how you set up the camping. You can deploy and undeploy your mosquito net as you want. So at night I want that mosquito net. During the day I want to be able to sit in the hammock. So, and I got my little ditty bag right there for doing whatever. This would be how you'd want to camp in it, like this. Now, being a female, if you're in an open campground and you want to carry your own potty or something like that, 5-gallon buckets like we talked about, you'd set it where you can close these doors. That way I can set that bucket up under the foot down there or something. And if I need privacy and there's too many people around, I can just close these doors. I'll go ahead and stake these out. So all I gotta do is unhook this with that quick link, swing them closed, lock, sit under here and do my business. And then set it back up. And I gotta take everything down. By hooking it up here, that tarp will be standing when I unhook the doors. So, real simple. You like it?
Yeah. That breeze.
Yeah. It's nice and cool like this. Now being in the hammock, you're going to get a lot of airflow. And so you'll get cool at night real quick. In the height of summer, you'll think, man, it is never going to cool off. I'm going to die heat in here. That's when you take one of the small personal fans like people wear around their neck, and you hang it from that line down there at the foot facing uphill at you. And you'd be amazed how much air there is in that thing. You'd be saying, hey, man, trust me, it's like a box fan at the house blowing. I used one for years and just carried extra batteries because it'll run like 4 hours. You know, well, usually after 2 hours, I'm so cool, I'm turning it off, even in the middle of the summer, because it's stirring the air up inside of that mosquito net. The mosquito net blocks a lot of wind. And you've got to have it because mosquitoes down here in the summer, but at the same time, I want air movement. And so by hanging that ceiling fan up in there, I'm stirring the air up. And since you're against this material, which is conveying and you're losing heat, like laying on a waterbed, it's quickly going to cool you off. It's just how you configure it. A tarp is the most versatile of all the camping stuff. I can make a tent out of it. I can make an awning out of it. I can make a lean-to out of it. There's 70-something setups just for a tarp. And if I know them, there isn't any weather I can't set up for it. You know. And so that's the reason I really like the fact that this is a reinforced tarp. They've reinforced all the ridges and the seams, and that's going to be the weak link in the tarp. wherever the ropes connect to the tears. Because the wind gets to hammering on it like that and it works until it tears. This has been sewed, glued, and reinforced 4 different ways. It should last the longest. And it's a silk nylon, which means it's very light, very airy. Disadvantage, don't let a spark get on this. It'll catch fire in a heartbeat. Treat it like it's soaked in gas. It ain't gonna be a big conflagration, it'll just burn like it's made out of toilet paper. That's an old joke we used to do in camping was, do you have a silk nylon tarp? Touch a match to it. Did it all burn up in 10 seconds? Yes, you had a silk nylon tarp. Now, I understand that one wind is going to be making a new kind of hammock that's even lighter than this, and a different tarp that's bigger than this. And as soon as they get that to me in prototype form, and I'll try it out, after they get ready to go in production, we'll see if you like the 12 foot or this 10 foot better, whichever one you want.
I probably like I like bigger.
Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. Each one's got an advantage, each one's got a disadvantage. Now you notice how the way we got it set up right now, the end of the hammock is outside. That would not be good if it was going to rain. You want the hammock completely underneath. Rain will land on the tree and will run down the tree, and then get on the strap and will run down the strap. The buckle will act as what we call a drip edge. Water will run down and hit it and turn downhill rather than keep going. So you want to make sure that both ends of the hammock are completely under the tarp. Otherwise, water's going to run down it, either on the inside or the outside. If it's a waterproof material and it's on the outside, no big deal, it'll drip under your butt. If it's on the inside, you end up asleep and you wake up with your butt in a puddle. You know, that's what happened to my friend Trinity at Frozen Foot. It had rained and apparently it had been dry all night, but the next day when she got out, something changed. And so as it rained during the day, it was leaking into her blankets. And so that night about 1 o'clock when we were all ready to go to bed, she had about 4 inches of water in the bottom of her hammock and all of her blankets were sopping wet, and it was 28 degrees. So that's the reason we have to adjust.